Disclaimer: Third Eye Therapy is a podcast. I and my co-host are not licensed therapists. If you feel you need a licensed professional, please reach out to one immediately. Our speech, content, dialect, and open communication is not meant to dictate your life or offer advice, but rather encourage freedom as a state of mind. Yo, what's up, y'all? What's good? This is episode 3, Be the Change You Wish to See. It's your girl and host, Monica. I am the content creator and visionary leader of Third Eye Therapy Podcast.
You heard me?
Thank you for tuning in to another awesome episode. And for those who tuned in to episode 2, called One Love, you may have already been introduced to Milk the Barber. But in case you haven't, let's rewind to catch his vibe.
Milk the fade, doctor. Milk money. All the above. You know what I'm saying?
Milk the Barber is from 314, St. Louis, Missouri.
314.
He is now a resident of Houston, Texas.
Home of the players and pimps. H-Town.
Hold it down.
Now, Milk has a local barbershop where they refer to him as the Fade Doctor.
Hold up. Holla. He got a PhD in fades? Man, hold up. That's what's up.
So Milk has truly inspired me by his love for giving back to his clientele. Not only does he do surgery on these dudes' hair, but every other Monday, Milk hosts a free men's mental health program, which for him signifies a release from the mental and emotional blockages that hinder these men from being the absolute best versions of themselves by releasing together, taking back the power, and making the changes, all while he offers a ministry, a support group, and a true brotherhood with a safe space to freely release. How inspiring is that? Milk truly represents being the change you wish to see. So of course, he was a soul I wanted to feature on this episode.
Yo, we're finna travel Magic School Bus style.
Magic School Bus is my jam. But we're going to travel into Milk's world and view it through his eyes and learn a little more about his story, his life, and what called him to start his own movement. We're going to find out what or who inspired him, who encouraged him to stay inspired, and why he continues inspiring others by being the change they wish to see. So welcome to episode 3. Let's get it. What's up, Milk? Antonio.
What's going on, Third Eye? Third Eye Therapy. What's going on, Wardy?
Yeah.
Monica? All right, we good.
As you know, this episode is called Be the Change You Wish to See. And you, Milk, happen to be the perfect pick for this special featured episode. And I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yes, Wardy's also happy to have you as well.
Thank you for being here. The fade doctor in the building.
Ooh, doing surgery.
We here.
Milk money. So as you know, and I've mentioned to you before, how you have really inspired me. And we caught up the listeners already as we got a preview from our last episode, which I wanted to thank you for being a part of that. That one was really special, so thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being a part of that.
Thank you. The 314 that was a good episode.
It was
If you didn't listen, go check it out. It was a great episode.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, y'all make sure to check out our last episode. It was called One Love. You can listen free on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Check it out. Milk, how you inspire me is by this movement that you started. This movement that you started, which is also a ministry, giving back to your clients. How inspiring is that you go and do a mental health program to give back to your clients? Now, what I want to know is, where did that start? Who started? Who gave you the idea? Who were you inspired by? What was it that sparked that?
I guess
God talked to me, man, and I listened. But it started with me feeling a certain type of way. Waking up, I would feel sad, didn't know why. Like, man, like some days I wake up and it's like, damn, I just don't feel right. I don't feel good. I'm down almost half the day. I wanna talk to other people to see if I'm the only person experiencing this feeling. And God was telling me, hey, you got a space where you can gather some guys and you can come together and you can talk to somebody and kind of like release. So I like, all right, I'm gonna do that with like no hesitation. I'm like, look, bro, I hit up people I know. I started telling my clients, like, look, I'm gonna start a mental health class on Monday. The first day, like literally the first day, man. I remember the guy coming in. He like a good friend of me. I remember sending out like the message to remind people this Monday is going on. We gonna be doing the mental health class. So when he came, he was like emotionally heavy, like drained. You could see it on his face. So he was like, man, so glad that you texted me and reminded me, man. He was like, I was in the middle of sharpening my machetes, because he was a military dude. He was like, man, I've been going through it so much with this girl. My mind been in a bad place. I was going to either do something to myself or go do something to her. Just a couple days before, I was walking out into oncoming traffic, but your text reminded me that we need to go talk and deal with this mental health thing. And I'm here, like the first day.
How bold and courageous. You know what I mean? And you see, there was a purpose and a plan that God put that on your heart. That is so beautiful because you never know. You never know. You know, that's why I say God works in mysterious ways.
Therapy isn't cheap, typically, right? And then for most men, we don't go to get therapy. It's not a thing men do. We try to tough it out. We're raised to be just stronger than our problems, but we do suffer from a lot of mental health issues because of that, and we bottle everything up, and at one time we let everything out. And since we don't have a place to release that, we end up having weird personalities because of that. It starts to seep into our daily life, and we treat people a certain way because we're just dealing with so much stress. And if we talk about it, we're typically looked at as weak a lot of times. It looks at like you're weak to talk about, but no, it comes from a place of strength to be able to really
thoughts
let
become
your
things.
Yes, to be able to let your healing happen. It's a strength. You know what I'm saying? It's not a weakness to be vulnerable like that.
What I discovered with opening up, just for myself, being able to talk about the shit that I go through on a daily basis, the shit that I've been through in the past. Cause we kind of like dive deep, man, in the class, man. We go back to childhood. We go back to how was our relationship with our mothers, our fathers, stuff that we think we could have did different.
That's so healthy.
Mistakes we made. If we'd have did things differently, how our life would be now. We talk about dealing with our kids, you know what I'm saying? Just everything. And I feel like just for the couple of months I've been doing it, about 4 or 5 months, I understand. Like, it gave me an understanding that when you release that whatever's been on your heart, all the struggle, all the turmoil, releasing it takes away the power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't let it hold over.
Yeah, it don't have a hold on you no more.
I'm sure you also get a deep perspective because being able to see insight into so many other people's situations, pulls you outside of yours, so you can look at yours and put it on the table and look like, okay,
put it on a scale.
and be like, okay, well, this is whatever I'm going through. It could always be different in a worse way or a better way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's not to compare, but to be able to say everybody has something they're dealing with. You know, so I need to just focus on being the best version of me so I can get through mine. And if I can help somebody get through theirs, I see it.
Hey, that's the purpose, though, to help other people. Just to help them release. And we there to build friendship, build fellowship. we in talks of building business, like a brotherhood.
Yes. I
and
love
like
that.
traveling together.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to be able to see the world and just give people different outlooks on life.
Yes.
You know why that's important? I think because humans, we seek comfort in groups.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We seek comfort in groups. Now, it very much depends on what group you're in. You should, you should try to be in the most positive group possible. But I think the fact that you have a group going that's positive, and it's for men, because not just for men, I'm assuming, but I'm sure it's mostly men. It's just men. But men, we don't have that. We end up being that lone wolf a lot of times as an adult. If we don't have a woman, if we don't have many boys as friends, if we don't have a bunch of girls, you know what I'm saying? We end up being alone, and then that's left with our thoughts, you know what I'm saying? And then that's left with our life, and we putting everything into our heads and trying to really get through the world alone.
And you can't do it alone.
Yeah, it's sometimes you need somebody just to listen, if that's it, just to hear what you got going on.
And that's what we create, man. Judgment free. There's a judgment free zone where you come to release and just get anything that you have on your mind off your chest. Just to be like we listen to each other, and we if somebody's going through something, everybody gives their insight. Like, look, this is how you can do it. Like just last Monday, we had 2 guys that said that they've been contemplating suicide. Just
and
because the heavy the weight of the world, you know what I'm saying? Not being able to provide for the family financially, or being financially stable, being able to buy anything you want to buy, but not feeling love, not having your own family, not being able to go home and be with your something that's yours.
Yeah.
It's like one guy was like, man, I could buy anything I want. I could do whatever. I do it because it kind of like helps me fill that void. Then on the other hand, somebody who can't do nothing for his family, but he got a family, and both of them thinking about suicide.
I've been in that spot before too. I've definitely, and I've tried to do it before. I think for me, it was one of those situations where I'm tired. And I think that's what it comes down to a lot of times for men. You're tired of hoping things change, or your mind changes, or you get to a better place. And a lot of this is you alone in your own thoughts, right? You're not talking to other people about it. You're just going through life, and you may be social. You may have a few people you go out with or do things with, but at the end of the day, when you go home and you're by yourself, you start to think, well, what am I doing with my life? Where is this going? Is it going to be more of this, more of the same? Do I still have this job and that job? But now my outlook is a little different, because what I see is, at the end of the day, I need to keep going, not for anybody else, but for me, right? There's a pure positivity that I'm searching for, and that I'm seeking and getting out of life. And I know that I can't just expect to get that from money. I can't just expect to get that from things or from women or relationships or whatever. I have to get that from me. Right? So I have to find joy in the things I like. I have to appreciate the things I have. It's up to me to do that. It's not up to those things to give me that feeling. It's up to me to get that feeling for myself. So that's how I've been able to personally deal with those things. And I take a lot of joy in simple things.
Imagine when you are able to be fulfilled and standing in your own truth and your own authenticity, and with your purpose, feeling fulfilled. How different your view is going to be. You're still going to enjoy those pleasures, right?
Always,
But it's something a little bit different, where it sparks you more. It's like you're on fire. You have a want and a will, and all you want to do is put action behind. And for me, that's exactly what I feel like I'm doing now, which I'm so happy. And I see that you're also working with that, with your whole movement, your ministry. It was a moment for you with God, and see, that goes back to how you had connected with God, and for me, I had to find those things for me that I felt fulfilled, and in my escape, it was giving back to myself and loving myself, truly loving myself, not loving other people and helping them from sinking and doing all of these things, right? No, it was recentering, coming back to center, and validating my own emotions and connecting with myself. Because remember, I was disconnected from anybody else. I was alone, lost in the sauce by myself, and what could I do? I gotta be listening. Help! That was me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I disconnected for so long. And so as I started to pour into myself and heal some of that inner child, doing some of those things that really made me feel, like I belonged here, like I have a purpose and a plan, and really standing in that. It was like, that's when the missing piece, and I am closer to God now than I've ever been in my whole entire life. And that has given me allowing me to fulfill my purpose and my true potential, right? And so, which leads me to these beautiful moments with you, with Wardy, with everybody who I come in contact with, who I'm going to continue to come in contact with, because here we are. This is episode 3. Be the change you wish to see. And you, Milk Money,
thank you,
are actively showing how you are the change that you wish to see.
Thank you.
Definitely an inspiration.
So inspirational. So that was something why I wanted to have you on here. So I wanted to take the listeners on a journey deeper into the life of you, or as we call you, Milk the Barber. And so I want to thank you also for being here with us and sharing your story and being open to being vulnerable and share and trusting us with the depth in which you're going to take us in. So let's paint them a picture of Milk. Young Antonio, take us through your journey thus far. What was childhood like for young Milk?
Man. Young Milk, childhood.
Where were you, first of all? Where did you live?
First off, to be absolutely honest, I was actually born on my deathbed. I was born not expected to live. I was born with laryngitis. I was born with bronchitis. I had jaundice, and when I first came out, I had to get like blood transfusions, and I was born in Centerville, Illinois, which is right across the bridge from St. Louis. I was born there because my mom, her mother lived over there, my grandma. So she was over there visiting, and she went into labor. So they took her to the little small hospital. She had me September 6, 1985. And when I came out, I was sick. I was sick little boy, man. And they had to give me blood or whatever. So come to find out, I had rare blood, and my mom or my dad couldn't give me blood. Ooh. So they were stressed out. Like, damn,
So basically, you were born a fighter.
Yeah, I was born a fighter. I was expected to die. So they had to airlift me to the St. Louis hospital, which was more up to par. The medicine that they practice with, St. Louis got more money than East St. Louis, which is it's just 10 minutes.
I didn't know that.
It's just 10 minutes away, but the money is different. You know what I'm saying?
They would have had the blood you needed over there.
Yeah, they would have had the blood, and they would have had the doctors that know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And they practice. You know what I'm saying? The school right there, the medicine. You know what I'm saying? It was up to par. So that was a blessing. But I found out that I was born on my deathbed. My dad couldn't. He was upset because, like, dang, I can't. My only son, I can't help him. But they figured it out. I guess I'm rare. I'm different. I'm blessed.
Yes.
So
yes. But you know, more than anything, Milk, though, it was that there was a purpose and a plan for your life, and it makes perfect sense. Even though all of these things, you had all these things against you, no weapon formed against you prospered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there was definitely a purpose and a plan. So I am so happy that you are here to share that testimony.
That's great. I'm here.
And I have one of those too. I was a miracle baby, actually.
Talk that talk.
Yeah. I was a miracle baby. My mom found out. Actually, I was. She had 3 miscarriages before she had between my sister and I, and they told her, that was it. She wasn't gonna be able to have any more babies, so they told her she needed to have a hysterectomy. So that was something that she felt like they were driving her to a funeral because she was so sad. She wanted another baby so bad, and a girl. She wanted, she had been praying and no luck. She goes into her scheduled hysterectomy. They said, let's do a pregnancy test one more time. And she's like, don't even get my hopes up, like.
She was pregnant.
And they said, you know what? The doctor can't do your surgery today. They put her in an ultrasound. And she said she got a tumor with hands and feet. What? My mom said they hooked it up, and she said she heard my heartbeat going 1,000,000 miles a minute, just going. And so she, here I am.
That's
so. Deep. Had they gone through with that hysterectomy, I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying?
Thank God, you here.
Yes, we're here, and you're here. And so that's so thank you for sharing that, You
finna get the real, as best as I can give it.
My birth was pretty regular. Except for I'm a twin, so I mean.
Oh, that's pretty rare too. Being here special.
That's like 1 in 100,000 or something. Huh? Twins,
I don't know the numbers,
you know the numbers for the twins?
Nah, I don't know the numbers, but we're fraternal, so then that's another number. We're not the same looking.
As you shared that story of you being a fighter from birth, how would you describe yourself as a child?
As a child, I was laid back. I was always around the old heads, like the OGs. So they always told me, man, you a cool dude, man. You so smooth. They nicknamed me Smooth, like all my dad friends, they named me Smooth. Look at it, like, man, you one of the young dudes that I don't mind being around. I felt like I didn't fit in with people my age. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. I felt like I went through from 6 years old to 14. I played football for a Pee Wee team. I didn't talk a lot because I felt, not to say that I didn't think the kids were on my level, but I just didn't carry myself like a kid. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't bouncing all over. I was just cool, laid back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm chilling, bro. You know what I'm saying? So as a child, I was a loner naturally because I think that's the Virgo thing. I don't mind being by myself. I was like one of the cool loners, like a popular loner. Everybody knew me, everybody wanted to know me, but I really was just like off to myself.
You liked your time to yourself.
Yeah. So
yes.
That was me as a kid.
I wish I would have had that one. People thought I was weird.
I
was just quiet. I thought I was being mysterious. Nah, man.
When you don't allow people to like figure you out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got that mystique. But you still got the swagger. You cool too. You know what I mean? That was
my
me.
thing was I wouldn't say anything to anybody usually. I would just be reading a book or something. But anytime somebody would come up to talk to me, I'd actually talk to them and it would mess with their head. They'd be like, you actually talk. You actually cool. You actually you actually know stuff.
But yeah, you like super smart, man.
I know.
I look at you and I'm like, this dude is. You almost like genius level. I can peep it, even though you don't talk
trying to be
much.
modest about it.
No, even though you don't talk that much, man. You got so much potential, bro. So
man,
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't hype me up too much.
No,
man.
do that.
No, hype you up. Yes, hype you up because you need to. You know what? More than us believing that and seeing that in you, B. You need to see that in you, and I always hope that's one of my biggest. You see what I see because you are absolutely one of the most intelligent men I've ever met in my whole entire life. You always are teaching me something new. You know so much about things. So yes, hype you up.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the Fade Doctors episode. Let's get back to the Fade Doctors.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, that was just a short intermission. For Wardy.
You heard me? A little love for Wardy.
Yeah.
So back to you, Milk. Let me ask you this. Did you enjoy your childhood? Was your childhood easy on you? Did you have a great childhood?
My childhood was good. just a normal kid. Went to school every day. My parents made sure that I played sports. I played basketball, football. Was good at it.
Oh,
That's what I thought I was gonna do. That was my dream to
be in the NFL.
Go to the NFL. I think that's like every kid dream almost. Like I want to be in
if
the
you're
NBA.
a boy, yeah.
I want to be in the NBA. I want to go to the NFL. But I did grow up in the hood. Mm-hmm. I live right across the street from a liquor store. Like I could walk out of my front door and take 100 steps, and it was a liquor store right there. So I seen all the crack addicts. I seen all the drunks.
And as a young
it was
kid?
like, it was normal. I lived in the same place until I was 18. The same block. My grandfather, he owned two houses on the block, right across the street from each other. So my family lived in the house across the street from my grandpa and my grandma. And we lived there up until I was 18. Yeah, so, but my hood, it was like everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew the Perkins. Like, those the Perkins. Like, they knew me. Even if they didn't know my name, they knew I was a Perkins boy. You know what I'm saying? It's small, like the small town feel.
Yeah.
Even though we was in a city, big city. But grew up right next to a liquor store. I seen all the drugs. I seen all the
At what age do you
alcoholics.
remember starting to see that? Like, at what age do you have a memory of how young, about how young?
I would say probably 6 years old. It was a liquor store, and on the corner it was a lounge. And I remember at 6 years old, I was able to go in the lounge because it was like, small town, big city.
Yeah.
We know everybody, so I could go in there and get a soda or something if I wanted to. At night, I could run past, and they're like, "Boy, you need to go home." You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, that's a Perkins boy. You know what I'm saying? So that's everybody knew me.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood. So.
I had a similar upbringing like that. My grandma was the candy lady. So before I knew anybody in the neighborhood, everybody knew me. Miss Julia's grandson, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
No matter where I went, everybody. And luckily for me, because my grandma was the candy lady, that was like a shield for us in the hood because everybody respected her. Right. So they left us alone. You know what I'm saying? They left our block alone. Nobody messing with the candy lady.
That's crazy.
My grandma know all of the gangsters, mamas and daddies from a long way.
My grandma was a candy lady too, man.
It's a typical
thing, man. We was the corner house.
Yeah,
all the kids came to the candy lady. So they taught us the hustle at a young age.
For sure.
Yeah.
That must have been. I mean, I could see how that was like in your little world, like something so big to be a part of, where all the grown folks are hanging at. That's where you felt more in place, rather than a child. So in your spare time, take us into a moment of you as a child, and what did you do to fill your imagination, or what were the things that you were into?
What set me apart from any other kid was that my dad, like in my neighborhood, I was really the only kid with a dad in the house. You know what I'm saying? So my dad was like a disciplinarian. He was the type of person, if you didn't do your chores at night, he'll wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, take the trash out. I find myself doing that to my daughter now. Like, if she didn't wash the dishes, I'll wake her up at 3 o'clock or right before school and make her do it. But basically, my childhood was just basically like I would go to school because my dad had just quit his job and started a business, a pallet business. He started it in our backyard. So from 6 years old, 6, 7, I would go to school. When I get out of school, I'll come home and I would work for like 2 hours in the backyard. Like, he would have me like I would pop the boards off the pallets and beat the nails down. And I do that for 2 hours, and then after that I would have to walk probably like 30 minutes to football practice. So that was my schedule, and it's like he was basically training me to to work hard and like be a man. You know what I'm saying? So
Integrity.
I think my childhood was getting me ready for what the real world was. My dad never gave me anything. He made me work for it. So I didn't understand it as a child, but now like, man,
You can appreciate it now.
I appreciate it because like he didn't give me, like he let me understand that it wasn't gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying?
And did that affect you in a sense, as a child, feeling all these things, responsibilities as a child, and knowing that there was a lot of expectations on you? Did that, from what you remember in your view, you can appreciate it now, obviously, but in your view as a kid, how did that settle with you? I
never
mentally or emotionally. How did you process that?
I never really thought about it too much as a child. That was just my regular schedule, my normal routine. That's what I had. That's what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I lived under their roof, and this is what you tell me to do. This is what I got to do.
I honestly believe that structure that you had in your house is so necessary,
right,
and it's missing in a lot of black households nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So you already know, growing up, my father wasn't in my household. I know countless kids in my neighborhoods whose dad wasn't around, but there would sometimes be one kid with a dad.
That was me.
His dad was also a mentor to other kids in the neighborhood sometimes too, you know? Like, it's one of those things where a father really does build structure in a kid's life if he's doing it the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'd like to mention too, like, I know you said this is something that goes mostly in what you feel is the black community, but I also want to mention this happens also, you know, in every race these days. Now, fatherless children, that are wanting to have somebody to look up to, looking for a role model. And so, I mean, I just wanted to mention that as well, because I know a lot from every.
Definitely, and a lot of those kids end up, because they don't have a father to look up to, they end up looking up to maybe the wrong people in the neighborhood or the wrong people around. It's like you're gonna imitate what you see as a kid. So when you see those people, that's what you're gonna do.
But look, even though you may have a father in the household, you still get influenced by what you see in the neighborhood. Definitely. Because I was a victim of that. You know what I'm saying? I was, even though my dad was there, he was showing me how it was to be a black young man, to have a business, have people working for you. That wasn't cool to me. So it was like, I see my big cuz, he out here with the Cutlass with the rims on it, hustling. I'm like, that's what, you know what I'm saying? I was intrigued by that. And later on in life, I got involved in that. You know what I mean? Even though I had somebody to show me the proper way. I wasn't raised to be in the streets, but that's what I kind of gravitated to. You know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean. I think what I'll say to that is, then you get the pressure from both sides. You get the pressure of the streets and what they have to offer you, and then you get the pressure of your parents and their expectations of you. Right. But then the kids without a two-parent household or a dad, right? They get the pressure only from the streets, and they have no consequence to the parent. So they just see that, and then they have a lot of times a harder decision to make. Should I go that way, which I can see can benefit me, but it's dangerous, right? Or do I just do the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing with no one to tell me otherwise, right? There's no repercussions for it. No repercussions. I can do it either way.
Now that's deep right there.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I came up to be in one of those situations where I don't have a father to tell me don't do this. Yeah, there's
fearless.
Yeah, I don't have anybody tell me don't do any of this. I do whatever I want. But then it's up to me to figure it out, if this is the right thing to do. Should I do this? Why am I doing this? How does this help me? What is it? What do I get out of this? And at the end of the day, I'm sitting there learning all of these things on my own. And of course, there have been other men in my life who guided me the right way, right? My uncle, my cousins, big cousins, right? Everybody was trying to push me along the right path. But when you don't have a dad right? To tell you, to put some fear in you, or at least tell you so you know the way he looks at you, it makes you feel some type of way. The pride, the way.
Let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever know your dad?
Yeah, I still know my dad.
And I'm saying as far as a relationship, know him.
Yeah, yes and no. Like in my situation, my mother, which I think is a typical thing too. My mother didn't like my father, so she did everything she could to keep him away from us. Right. And every once in a while, I would see my father, and he was always nice to me. Like I have nothing bad to say about my father. He was he was a gangster. You know what I'm saying? He did some things that weren't too nice, but he also tried to work hard for the most part. He had a bunch of kids besides me, so it's not like he could do much for me specifically. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters or whatever. And like I remember when I was in high school, not high school. Was it high school? Nah, middle school. I was on the football team, and one day after school, I'm at football practice, and I see my dad watching outside the gate, and I hadn't seen my dad in who knows how many years, right? So I was excited to see him. I go up and say hello to him, he's like, I'm proud of you, I see you doing your thing. And I go back out into the field. The next day or whatever, he came back, and my friends were like, is that your dad over there? Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, that's my dad. He was over there going to talk to the coach. So the coach calls me over after my dad left, right? And the coach goes, yeah, I'm gonna have to put you on the bench. You're gonna have to be the water boy. I said, what? He's like, yeah, man, your dad, he basically threatened me. He told me if you get hurt, or if I treat you some type of way, he gonna come see me. And he's like, look, I'm not about to have no issues with your dad. I see you got teardrops and shit. I'm not doing it. So he was like, yeah, you're gonna be on the bench. You can hang out. Drink as much Gatorade as you want. Relax. Have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
So you basically quit. You quit after that, right?
I played
know you
it
weren't
for a
trying to
little
be
bit
no
longer.
water boy.
Nah, that was the thing. It wasn't like there was much else for me to do, and I didn't mind being with the other kids on the team. They were cool, and I was friends with some of them. So it wasn't a big thing. I didn't just quit because of that, but after a while, it did force me to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It made me like, I'm not playing. What am I doing here? I could be spending my time doing something else instead of, sitting here handing people water, which is an important thing to do. I'm just making sure everybody hydrated. H2O, H2O. I'm making sure everybody hydration, baby. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it wasn't for me, and I had to talk with my dad and tell him, that wasn't cool. And he wasn't even supposed to be seeing me, right? So he was already doing that outside of what my mama wanted, right? So for him to tell my coach, I had to tell him you crossed the line. And I was like, you don't have that right. Just let me be a kid. This is my coach, let my coach coach me, but... he's a dad. He's trying to protect me in certain ways, and for the most part, he just loved me a whole lot, and he always showed me that. So I never saw a part of my dad that was negative, even though he wasn't there. It wasn't necessarily because he didn't want to be. It was because my mother didn't want him to be more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Because he went out of his way for me and my twin, because he loved us. For real,
and that's something that's so important. Like you said, that structure is so needed. Mm-hmm. And another thing is with parents or co-parents, how people, people have different co-parenting styles. And it's like one thing's for certain, even if it is a broken home or no structure, right? The most important thing is for one parent, I feel, to not speak badly of the other or ever keep, somebody.
It's an influence. It's an influence.
Yes.
It makes that kid think, okay, well, this is how my dad feels about me, or my mom feels about me, and it's not necessarily true. You don't have both sides of the story. You have the side of the story that you're being told at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then it gives you a preconception or about whoever your parent is, and then you start treating your parent accordingly.
Yeah, that gotta be tough, bro.
But as you get older, you're able to accept that now, and that's able to kind of soothe any of those feelings maybe that you felt as a child that you didn't have the answers to, so now it's like maybe it changes, other people's perceptions and how they see things.
Well, as an adult, the crazy part for me is, as an adult, my mama and my daddy were younger when they had me, younger than I am now, I guess in their early 20s, right? Right. So as an adult now, I realize that they're just big kids. You know what I'm saying? They don't know it all. They don't know what they're doing. They didn't know what they were doing. They weren't perfect. They didn't have anything written out. You know, they're just going with what happened. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So they were learning just as I was learning. Now, to talk about as far as my father, like I said, I'm not his first kid. He knew better, but I feel like he was more of a victim of his love. Like, he liked my mama, so he wanted to be with her. My mama didn't like my dad like that, even though she had his kids, right? So it was one of those weird dynamics where I told you this before, B. You know, my mama was in love with my brother's dad, not my dad. You know, I have another brother, right, and he's my half brother. But yeah, my mom was in love with
your brother
his dad.
was too.
Yeah, you know, my dad was in love with my mama, but he couldn't have her. So of course, you know, he was upset, and you know, she got a restraining order and stuff. I don't want to be with you. And, you know, my brother's dad.
She pulled out.
Yeah. Look, and then my brother's dad is probably thinking I should get a restraining order on her, because you know, it's like just a loop of I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? So. You know?
Yeah, and that affects. I'm sure that took a toll on you as a young boy, or maybe your brother or your brothers. You know, everybody viewed it in a different way.
It was nice to have siblings, and at the same time, having a twin is different because, you know, we were always together. So we literally experienced everything at the same time.
You were born with a little partner by your side.
We experienced everything at the same time. So we didn't have. We couldn't really disagree on anything. Everything we noticed the same.
Yeah. So that's good, bro. That's peace.
Yes, that is peace. So that leads me to my next question for you, Milk, leading us back into your journey, because we Magic School Bus style here.
Talk that talk.
Who did you look up to in your heart of hearts? Who was it that you were really inspired by?
I couldn't. Yeah, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down as far as why.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Why?
Tell me. Let's hear it.
One, my grandpa.
That's a good one.
Because I just seen him take care of the family. Never, you know what I'm saying? Never seen him sweat, man. He was just so cool. Never seen the lights cut off. Never seen grandma want for nothing. All the kids were taken care of. And he was just a cool dude, man. And he was a gardener. He showed me kind of like how to garden. He was the type of cat, like, he'd go out there and turn the dirt over. You know what I'm saying? And plant it like watermelon, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. Grandma go out there, cucumbers.
I got beans, potatoes, tomatoes.
So he go out there and put us to work. And he was frugal. My whole life, my grandpa had one car.
Yeah.
And now I got that car.
Oh, nice. Really?
Yeah. I used to see him pull out. He had an '83 Cutlass Supreme. I used to sit on it because we live across the street from him. He'll get clean. Like when he go into the bank, make a bank run, put his bucket hat on. I see him pull out the garage in the Cutlass.
Okay.
And I would sit there. I'd be like, man, that's gonna be my car one day. It's gonna be mine. And I manifested it. Because when he passed away, my grandma gave it to me. So I got that car right now in my garage.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I fixed it up a little bit. I put some 20s on it. You know what I'm saying?
Got the Cutlass.
Yeah.
Clean it up for the times.
You know what I'm saying? I need to pull it out and ride.
Milk hit the Cutlass. He said. Who else inspired you?
My dad was a great influence to me, just because I just seen him get up and go to work every day, man. He worked for himself. You know what I'm saying? My mom really didn't have to work until like later on in that relationship, and that was only because she wanted to. He took care of like all the bills, took care of us. He taught us discipline, me and my sisters. Just kept us in line and showed us what it was to take care of your family, even though I would say he wasn't always like, he was present, but he wasn't. You know what I mean? But he showed us by example. You know what I'm saying? I think he, like you said, they were kids just trying to figure out what to do. You know what I mean? They didn't really have it all figured out, so they were just going with the flow.
And the other side of that is, until you become a parent, you don't know what that experience is or how to approach it.
Yeah.
So you basically take from what you learned from your parents, right?
Right.
So he may have taken a little bit from his grandpa, which seemed like your grandpa's a hard worker. I need to work hard. I need to provide for my kids.
As children, we all have our own unique needs, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually.
Right.
And I just feel like that's something that a lot of people, need to hear and know that it's okay for a little boy to be able to express emotion or share emotion or say the words "I love you" or hear the words "I love you" or
man,
hear I'm proud of you.
It's crazy that you mentioned that. The "I love you." My dad never told me that until I was grown.
As a kid, did you feel like you knew that he loved you, or was that something that you felt like you questioned?
As a kid, you really don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? You don't really understand life. It's just, this is what it is. This is normal. So you don't really question it. It's just, this is what it is. But as you get older, and then when you have kids, you like, this is what I was missing this. So I practice telling my daughter I love her every day. I practice praying with her every day. When I drop my daughter off to school, I pray with her before she get out the car. I tell her I love her every day because I do feel like I missed that, just hearing that I love you. You know what I'm saying? It just gives you a different feeling. Just knowing, even though you may feel it, even though because it's like they taking care of you, they make sure you eat, they give you what you need, but sometimes it's just knowing they telling you. It's like, I love you. You know what I'm saying? That's important.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about with those emotional needs, because we do.
We need that.
We need that, especially as young children. That's what. And a lot of people, they talk about these things. They also know, oh well, I'm just like my mother, I'm just like my father, because that's what my father was shown, and that's the thing, it is a line of things that happen.
One thing my dad always told me is to be better than him. You know what I'm saying? He told me
yes,
and I want you to be better. Beautiful. I want you to be better than me. So,
and that's his way of love. Also, that was his way of love.
Yeah, it was a long time before he even hugged me as a adult.
I think the generation is different too.
Yeah, it's different. Because my dad's 70 almost.
Yeah.
You know
their reality is way different. As far as men and talking to your kids, it was so different.
And it's also a lot of preconditioned. That's what I'm saying. A lot of those preconditioned things and the ways that they process life and the way that they saw it, and it gets projected onto you, and you're expected of the same exact thing. So they hold you as high as they felt they were. Held accountable for things. And so, but that's the thing, is like where I was saying how it's so important for people, now as an adult, you can see that, and that like that was my dad's way of showing love rather than being salty about it, right? But also it's like one of those things where you provide that freely to your daughter, knowing that like this is what I
that's
wish
what
I had.
Yeah, that's I was missing it.
Absolutely. And so you find
I love you.
Just like you were saying, my dad, like I said, he wasn't able to be there, but he always made it a point to tell me and my brother he loved us. So that's why, even though my dad wasn't always in my life, whenever he say that, I can see it in his eyes. He wasn't joking.
Right.
And he made it like I said, showing up to my football practice.
Yeah.
He could have been out doing anything instead of coming and try to see me, but he was risking jail just to see me. You know what I'm saying? My mom had a restraining order. Like, she's like, you can't see them kids. No. My dad was like, I don't care about none of that.
Yeah, I'm going
to go see my son.
That's me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and that's beautiful that you had that, though.
You was able to get that, man, and I know it carried you a long way. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing that somebody love you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And in my head, it was always like, okay, he not around. I know my dad love me. It wasn't one of them things where it's like he never tried to see me, or my dad would have love to always be around me, but he couldn't. So it was like one of them situations, you know.
Right. The last two of who I looked up to. I said my dad. I gotta say my mom. She was just a strong black woman. I remember as a kid going to school, every day she would pick me up. Like she walked me to school because we stayed probably 10 minutes from the school. So she walked me to school and picked me up. And every day we would stop at this corner store and get the orange Dreamsicle ice cream.
Ooh, the one in the toilet paper roll?
Yeah.
The Flintstone joint?
Bro. Like I look forward to every day, like especially when it was like a warm day, like a summer, spring. We go to this little store. I think it was like 50 cents at the time.
Yeah.
She'd give me
maybe
that ice
cheaper
cream.
than that.
Yeah, she'd give me that like probably a quarter. She'd give me that little ice cream, and I eat it, walk home, and it was just like it's like one of the best memories of it as a child.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like just
I feel like
remembering.
just you saying it, I can envision the taste of the ice cream. And you know the walk in the summer is perfect.
Bro, whenever I buy those now, I think about, damn, my mama used to take me to the store to get me these.
That soothes.
You know what I'm saying? But
that soothes that inner child in you.
Yeah. That's that. Like, you know, the music, cleaning up it. You know what I'm saying? The sounds. I still get that feeling. Like some of the songs hit me and be like it's like I almost want to cry. Like, damn, this is my mama. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I got that unconditional love for my mama. She got that unconditional love for me. So I just feel like I look up to her because she showed me unconditional love. Like it was like even when I fucked up, when I was young, wild and going to juvenile, doing shit, she was always there. It was like she never turned her back on me, and she always, even though sometimes I be like, man, it's like crazy, you know what I'm saying? But she was always there for me, man, and she showed me just so much love, and she always told me it was real. I felt it. So, and even today, I know. If nobody in the world got my back, I know my mama.
Your mama
got
got your back.
So yeah.
Yes,
so
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that 1,000% to my soul, to my core.
Yeah.
I can think of so many times. I mean, my mom, even though right by my elementary school, I was so close. You know, she would drive me, and within that drive from our driveway all the way to the school, she would say a prayer. She would make me recite a prayer after her. She's like, "Okay, let's pray. You know, repeat after me." And that's where we would pray every single morning. Never failed. We would pray the same prayer every single day. And in this prayer, my mom would always have me recite, "Dear Jesus, help me to have grace and favor with God and with man." And as I would recite this prayer every single day of my life, that's exactly what I have.
You got it.
Grace and favor.
You got it. You got God with you.
And especially because my life is, as a miracle baby, it's one of those things that I know that my mom reminds me too. She reminds me that she said, "Don't think you're just here for just to be here. No, you have, there is a calling. You have a purpose and a plan." You do. And so that's one thing that my mother always built into me, and that's one thing that she, you know, has always instilled in me. And as a young child, I'd pray that for grace and favor over my life, and here I am to this day, and I still say her prayer.
Talk that talk.
I still say that prayer on my way to work. On my way to work, and
so it's embedded.
Here it is. It's embedded. Grace and favor
in
with God and with man, and here I am. Grace and favor everywhere, and I'm so blessed. And so, yes, I can relate to you as somebody as your mom being. You know, my dad was strong. Even though my dad was always working, he worked 12s. You know, he always made the time to make us feel special and take that time. He would come home if he was off on a weekend. He'd pack your bags. We're gonna go fishing. He would take us fishing. He would spend that time, that one-on-one time, and he always, you know, told us that he loved us all the time, and we saw it in the way that he worked. But more than anything, we saw how he provided. How my mom could stay home and be a homemaker, take care of us, and he's like, That's all right. I'm gonna just work.
I got it.
The rest of my life.
I got it.
You know, but it's so beautiful to have those moments, and I remember eating those same little popsicles too, and it was like there's something about them that's real nostalgic. It takes you back.
That'd be good, man.
But that's beautiful that you said that.
The last one, my cousin. Now, my big cousin. His name was his street name was Crayloke. He was the person that inspired me on the street side.
What was it about him?
He just had so much respect in the neighborhood. People feared him because he was a doer. He was the type of person that if you disrespect him, he gonna handle it. And when you said his name in our neighborhood, people, it was like his name meant respect.
Like Frank Lucas.
I guess like on a level, like a small street level.
The movie with Denzel.
His name meant respect though. It was like
yeah, that's how I was imagining it. He's like, you already know, you remember that movie? You already know, wasn't nobody playing with him.
Yeah, so he was one of them people that people didn't play with, and he was respected like on different sides. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was a gang dude. So me being so young, he was like a hustler. So he was impressionable on me. So
yeah,
I wanted to be just I wanted to walk like him, talk like him, dress like him.
Like a Bronx tale, Sonny.
You know what I mean? So
you know what's special about that too? Not to cut you off. You know what's special about that too? It seemed like you look up to him, right? And he was all of that to all of those people. Mm-hmm. But of course, to you, he was different, right? He was like your big cousin.
Yeah, he
was you like a little brother.
Yeah, he was like my brother. I remember he gave me chicken pox as a kid. He had him. I wasn't supposed to be around him. He was in his room playing, like chilling. Mm-hmm. I went in there. I remember us wrestling and shit, and then all of a sudden I got chicken pox, and I was able to stay out of school like a week or two until they cleared up. But yeah, he was somebody that I looked up to, man. Just a cool dude. He had the girls, had the nice cars as a 17, 18-year-old, and he was just one of them people that I admire. So yeah, those the four people that I could say inspire me.
Y'all notice I was real quiet when y'all was talking about mamas.
Yeah.
I think for me it's a hard thing to talk about for me. You know, I was quiet when we were talking about mamas. It's a hard thing for me to talk about because I feel like my mother, as much as she was there, she wasn't, right? So there's so many like ways as a kid I could try to excuse you, you know, and be like, I don't know how to put it exactly, but to say
like your needs not being met.
Right. But it's not just that, because my needs were met, but not through my mother, through my grandmother, right? My mom,
So she was who inspired you. Like your grandmother is who took the place of your mother.
My mother to me.
You think your mom had like demons that she was battling with, where she couldn't be there?
I don't know how to say it. I mean, I guess, but I look at it like this: you have a responsibility. But I guess that's just me as an adult now speaking. For me as a kid, right? Because I feel like if you have children, you have a responsibility to be there for those kids in certain ways, right? As a mother, very specifically, you should be there. In my opinion, you should be there to make sure your kids aren't just taken care of, but feel loved, right?
But as a
have those needs met.
As a demon, if you have basically what they say, a monkey on your back, you don't care nothing else but the monkey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, but see, this is my thing with it too. I feel like my mother, it's like you did it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or you were doing it to yourself. Like you have all of these opportunities to make your situation better. Yeah. But then you blaming someone else, or you're choosing not to do the right thing necessarily. And let me just make this clear. My mother wasn't a horrible mother. You know what I'm saying? She provided for me and my brothers to an extent, right? But most of that was due to my grandmother, right? My grandmother we lived with her. It was me, my mama, my 2 brothers, and my uncle all lived at my grandma's house. Right. So we all lived in that house together, and so my mama had an opportunity to move into a better position in life, but she ended up a lot of times blaming us, her kids, for her situation not being better, and that's something she's actively told me, right? Like, because of y'all, I'm not where I want to be, right? And
that was the excuse.
Yeah,
right.
I know that was hurtful too.
Of course,
because you saying that, I can see the pain.
Well, there's more she said. I'm like the everything. I don't want to make her sound horrible, right? But at the same time, it's something that, like,
but it was painful for you.
It was, and to say compared to how my father was, I never heard my father say anything about his life and tell me it was about me, right? It was always, I love you. It was always, I want to see you. I want you to be great, And like I said, there were, of course, times when my mother would tell us she loved us too, right? But she's also told me she regretted having me. And my brothers, right? And when you hear that, it's rough. You know what I'm saying? Because look, I didn't ask you to have me. You did this. Right. I gotta suffer on earth because of you. Not, you know what I'm saying? I have to now deal with life. I have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because of your mistake, right? Because you consider me a mistake, I'm your mistake, right? Like, and I didn't ask for it. So to feel like I'm a burden, right? And I think that's the hard part as a kid, because you can see sometimes that you're a burden. You can see that your parents are struggling because of you, like, right? And I'm like looking at it like, well, I didn't ask you to do this, so why are you going to take it out on me, right? And if you are going to be upset about it, then do something. Like, make it change that's positive and fix it. And I can't help you. I'm a child, right? You have to figure that out. And I didn't get it. You're young.
But just like you said earlier, man, she was a child,
right? You know like I said, but that's why I like blanketed, because you're still an adult, but you're an adult. But like I said, you're an adult with a child. Man. You still kid mentality, So
that I feel like with you saying all of that, it's still painful for you. So it got to be a way you can work through it and heal from it and forgive her and like rebuild your relationship. Is she's still alive?
Yeah, I talked to Monica about this before. It's like, I feel like
I had offered him the similar advice.
Yeah. And I feel like for me, I don't see a reason to forgive her. I don't necessarily hate her or anything like that, or dwell on it or nothing like that. But I also feel that there are certain things that she's done purposefully to make my life harder as an adult. Yeah. That to me is spiteful, and like, it's one of those things where I'm just done. I'm done dealing with it. I moved on. That was my moving on.
But you don't forgive her for her. You forgive her for you.
Yeah. So I was gonna say that same.
I get what you're saying, but what am I forgiving her for? It's like,
you can just have peace.
I got peace. I'm good.
But look, if you got peace, I mean, the way you talk about it, you still emotional about it. So it's like, it's something that still bothers you. And then, and if you really don't forgive her, you can still carry, like, when you have kids, you could carry that on into your relationship with your kids.
I see what you're saying.
Well, he's gonna be such a great father as well.
So you just gotta forgive her, but move on.
In a sense, like I said, I've done everything I can to move on. As far as forgiveness, I feel like that's one of those things where it's like I don't hold anything against you. So that's that's like my forgiveness. It's not like I'm asking you. I'm not asking anything of her, right? So I made it to an adulthood. I made it to adulthood. I get it was hard. You don't have to worry about me anymore. Right. It's one of those things where, like you say, forgiveness. I forgive you for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not blaming you, right? You did what you had to do. That's fine.
You're not wanting to blame her like she blamed you.
Right. Right. I'm not putting any blame on you. I get it. It was hard. You didn't do it how I thought it should be done. That's cool. I also know that there were things you did against me to hurt me, which is not cool. Mm-hmm. But that's why, like I said, I can't see me forgiving that because it's like I just see where you are.
So you feel like it was intentional?
I know some things were intentional, right? Like I was telling Monica, like I had a full scholarship to college, right? And she kicked me out the house when I put her boyfriend out the house for trying to trade me some pills for some weed, right? And okay, I'm in school. My other brothers, they dropped out and got jobs.
Right.
I had a full scholarship, so I was still going to school. My mama, my book bag was still in the house, right? With all my paperwork, all my homework, all my books and stuff. My mama took my book bag, put it in the trunk of her car. She told my brothers, if you give him his book bag, I'm gonna put y'all out the house too. Yeah. Right. So my whole growing up, my whole dream was to go to finish college. A lot of my family didn't do that.
That's it right there, bro.
I know that's it, but it's like
So you never went to college?
I did go to college. I didn't. I failed out because I couldn't turn in my work and stuff. I was still going. I still passed all of my tests. But because I couldn't turn in homework and I couldn't follow the courses because of my books were with her, right? Yeah. And my brothers, they couldn't give me my book bag because they would have been put out the house.
Right.
And I was homeless at the time going to college, right?
Right.
That was intentional because I put out her boyfriend who tried to give me drugs, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought I was doing her a benefit. You know what I'm saying? This dude tried to give me pills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she took his side, and I put him out the house with my homies. I was like, you gotta go. And she called the police on me, everything. And like I said, it's whatever. I let it go. But that, to me, that's something where I was like, to do that to your child, that's like kind of evil. You feel me on some stuff? To say, out of all things, your kid wants to go to school and to deny them that.
So have you ever talked to her about it?
There was nothing to talk about after that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying like to get her why.
I didn't need a why. Like I said, there's been times where she told me she regretted having me. There's been times where she told me, you know, she don't really care. She feels like we have made her life worse. Or she's not where she wants to be because of us. You know, and it's one of them things where, as a kid, you hear this, and it's hard to believe. Mm-hmm. Right? Because there are times with your mother, with my mom, there are times when it was great. You know, it was beautiful. But at the same time, those times were few and far between compared to, it's not like my relationship with my grandma. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where my grandma was always showing me love and making sure I feel good, mentally and stuff.
Because basically your grandma was mentally stable.
Yeah.
Your mom wasn't mentally stable.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that plays a part in her feeling the way she felt. You know what I'm saying? She felt like maybe the pressure of the world, basically raising these kids, probably not having the finances that she needed. She doing the best that she could. And a lot of times she probably felt overwhelmed. Of course. That's why, and when she felt overwhelmed,
it's easy to blame somebody.
She didn't know how to express her love, so she lashed out. Like, damn, she felt so bad because she couldn't do better. It's like, y'all fuck my life up.
We're easy targets.
You know what I'm saying?
And look,
I can't do better for y'all, even though she really probably wanted to like just have you living life, peaches and cream.
Look, of course,
you know
but that's one of those situations where, like I said, my grandmother made it very easy for her. And my uncle.
In your eyes.
In
your eyes, though. You never know the conversations they had.
I've seen them fight each other.
I've seen my
mama fight my grandma, and it was because my mama was being petty. Like literally, I remember this as a child. You know what I'm saying? I remember going to the kitchen and seeing my mama and my grandma fighting, and it's because my grandma was telling my mama, "Look, you need to do what you need to do to take care of your kids, and not only that, you staying in my house, and you want to go out. You still want to go out. You still want to, you want to go find men, right? There's a lot of stuff you're doing as a woman when you should be here, right?
Right.
And so And that's tough as a kid to see your mama fight your grandma. That's crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could imagine.
Just imagine
seeing
your
that
mama
in your
fighting your
eyes.
grandma as a kid. And then what can you do? You can't even get in the way of it. Or you gonna get
Was
beat,
this
know?
you as a teenager?
No, this is me as a kid, elementary kid. You know what I'm saying?
And those things, like I said, those things that are there are some things in some small worlds that are huge, that shake your world.
Right.
Which thank you so much, Wardy, for being vulnerable and sharing those things and those thoughts.
We trade and we got Wardy open in here.
Look, all I gotta say about it is, I do love my mother, but it's on a distance thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to associate with her. I don't need to. Then the reason I say that is because I tried to go to school again, right? And this is after I'm out the house, after all of that, you know, was gone. I tried to go again. I went to the Art Institute, and they were trying to give me a scholarship, right? Yeah. And they were like, "Oh yeah, let me just call your mom. We need her tax information." And I was like, "Okay, well, we'll see how this goes, right?" She calls my mom. My mom picks up the phone. Hello. Like, oh yeah, I'm here from the Art Institute. Can I I have your son here, and you know he's trying to get enrolled in school, and we want to help him out. We want to give him a scholarship. My mom was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just not a good time for me. And she was like, well, when is a good time? She was like, I don't know. Don't worry about me. Like, they figure it out. He's grown. Figure it out. And so that's one of those second moments where it's like I was hoping, because I've told the lady like it's probably gonna be rough. But I'm hearing on speakerphone from across the desk and watching the woman, you know, listen to this and look at me like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So it's not that I haven't tried to give her another chance. You know what I'm saying?
A hurting moment, man.
Yeah, like I said, I just want to go to school.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know
but you know what?
Hurt people.
Yes, absolutely. And healed people heal people. And let me tell you something else, Woody. The other day when we were driving back from HEB, you saw the community college and you asked me about it, and I thought, you know what, this is something that's still on your heart to do.
It's always gonna be on, like,
and that's something
that's
something that you should definitely pursue and find a way. And I'm so willing to help you to find a way to get. I'll make the phone calls, whatever, to talk to the people.
Thanks, V.
Whoever.
Yeah, man, you need
just
to do
that. Because that's something that I feel that's gonna help heal.
Fulfill.
Yes, and make
Definitely.
you feel fulfilled. Your purpose.
I feel emptiness from it.
Yeah,
I feel like I was filling up a glass, and then it kind of shattered or something, and halfway, you know, and I can't ever get to filling it back up, which is basically me going back to school.
So the
definitely
thing
a goal.
Thing is, you need to do it.
It's action.
I mean, it's nothing to it but to do it, bro.
Yes. Set your mind to it. Set your heart is already there.
It's gonna be hard work once you get in it. It ain't gonna be easy. And then once you get in it, you ain't got nobody else to blame but yourself now.
Absolutely.
You know
hey,
what I'm saying?
Look,
yes.
So right now, you don't have nobody to blame if you don't get in it, and then when you get in it and you don't succeed the way you want to succeed, you only can blame yourself. You can't put the blame on your mom no more.
Like I said, I didn't blame her to begin with.
But you gonna be
what
great.
She did. I'm not trying
a genius.
to.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to blame her to begin with. I get it, but like I said, I'm gonna be good. Like I said, I was homeless. I figured it out. I was doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? I made it here. You know what I'm saying? Without it. You know what I'm saying? Since I was 18. You know what I'm saying? Been on my own, living couch to couch with family, homies, whatever I had to do to be straight. You know what I'm saying? Making mistakes here and there, but always coming back to where I need to be.
And one thing I want to say is, as this episode is being the change you wish to see, you know, let that be a little fire for you, to inspire you into doing that, to finding your full to filling your full potential, your heart's desires, and just doing it for you, you know, and let the rest fall into place, because there is also a purpose and a plan for you in your life. I do not see you being a mistake of any kind. And I know that from you being like my little brother. I see it as like you were also meant to be like my little brother. And I see your what you do for me. So I'm so appreciative that you are here and as your
the same,
sister,
dude. You know I love you,
we're
dude.
we're gonna get you there. You know what I'm saying? Which leads me to Milk. Thank you, Wardy.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Y'all welcome.
Which
Y'all
was
welcome.
another
Yeah,
thing.
that was deep, bro.
That was deep, but that leads me to my next question for you. As Wardy shared some of the biggest impacts that that happened in his young life. What rocked your world as a kid or as a teenager? Take us, walk us into your teenage years. Who were you then? Did you run into any things that rocked your
boy.
world, knocked you off your cool cat vibe?
As a teenager, that was, I guess those were the years where I started to experiment with the streets. Started to smoke weed every day.
Relatable.
Yeah, I was like, me and my partner.
I'm sorry. Listen, when you said that, I just say smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day. Every day we would go to this house. They sold nickel bags.
Mm-hmm.
So every day after school we'll put $2 in a piece to get a nickel bag. Get us like 2 blunts. We'd get 2 blunts out of that. Smoked every day. Then I was like, man, I can start doing this on my own. So I got my own pack, like my little ounce of weed, and I started selling weed in the neighborhood, taking it to school, hustling in the school hallways. So my teenage years was like the hustle and bustle. At 15 years old, I caught my first case, a felony case. I went to juvenile. I was out of town. I was going to me and my brother. We went out of town to visit my grandma, which like the whole family, like all the cousins and shit. We did that every year.
The reunion.
Yeah, so we would go up there in the summertime and just kick back and chill with grandma. That's my mom. So it was crazy because I remember my uncle, he found out that I was selling rocks or whatever. And he told my mom, this was my mom dropping us off before she left. She took me in the bathroom and I had the rocks in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
She like checked my shoes. She went in my pants pockets, made me pull my pockets inside out. She was like, "Open your mouth." I had the rocks in my mouth. So some type of way I was able to like turn around and spit them out. And they fell into like, it was in the restroom because she took me in the restroom to check me. It was like a pot in there, and I spit the rocks into a pot. And I opened my mouth and shit. And I was like, he tripping, he lying on me. My mom went back home to St. Louis. We was down there probably a week. I was, I'm talking about, I'm booming. I'm as a 15-year-old kid, I'm making probably $300-400 a day sitting on the front porch.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, he was 13, so nobody would buy work from him because he looked like a little kid, like real skinny.
Mm-hmm.
So I sold all his shit too. You know what I'm saying? But
And at this age, were you already cutting hair?
I had started cutting hair at 13. Yeah. But at 15, I was out there in the streets. I was hustling, and in that situation, man, I went to jail. Me and my brother, we was riding with my big cousin. We fell asleep in front of a dope house, some type of way. Somebody called and they came and locked us up. I got caught with a 8-ball of work, and my cousin had a gun in the car, like a 22.
Yeah.
So they charged us with that too. My cousin was inside the house with a girl. He was probably like, at that time I was 15, so he was probably 20.
You were 15, Milk.
Yeah, I was 15. So he
caught a case at 15.
15.
Your cousin had the gun in the car with y'all two in the car asleep.
Yeah.
And he's in the house, so he wasn't even there when
right.
when the police showed up. He wasn't even there.
He wasn't there. Actually, he was looking out the window when they was putting us in handcuffs.
Oh man.
So we went to jail for like a month. But we got blessed. We didn't have to do probation.
What?
We stayed in there like a month. They was like, because y'all from out of town, we don't want to have to deal with all the riffraff and coming back and forth. They just said, stay out of here until you 18. Don't get in no more trouble. Don't come back to Wisconsin, because we was in Wisconsin. So we was just able to go home after a month. That was a blessing.
And what took you to Wisconsin?
My grandmother lived there.
Oh, okay.
We go there every summer.
Oh, so that was why.
Yeah. And I was like, that was an opportunity for me to hustle. You know what I'm saying? And I got caught up.
And did that change after experiencing that? Did you stay off the streets or stay out of trouble, or did that?
Nah, when you get locked up, they kind of make it like the people was hearing about it back home. So when we came home, we was like hood celebrities. We was like the first ones in the neighborhood to go to jail.
It has a reverse effect.
Yeah,
man.
y'all was locked up. They asking you how it was.
Now
like,
you popular and you
know
cool.
what I'm saying? We was like hood celebrities, so we still in the streets. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that was your later, and so as your later teenage years, like say you were about 18. Where were you at 18?
I could say after we got arrested, came back home. We kind of like still in the streets, dibbling and dabbling, selling weed, still hustling a little bit. But I got a job. I worked at Church's Chicken. I was washing dishes and I worked at the cash register. I did that.
I don't like their chicken, but their biscuits be hidden.
Yeah. Hey, I was getting it for free, so I'm eating this. But yeah, I got a job. Then later on, at like 16, I started like getting into girls. So they kind of like took my mind off the streets, because I started like dating, going to the movies, going bowling, and just like becoming a young man. And then at 16, I found out like I would have pains in my stomach. It felt like at some points it felt like I was having a heart attack, right? So when we went to my eyes turned yellow. So like something ain't right. Like it was super painful. I was having these attacks. So when my mom took me to the hospital, they checked me out, did like the ultrasound on me or whatever. They found out that I was having gallstones passing into my gallbladder, like big stones. So at 16, I had to get cut open, and I had my gallbladder removed, and I had my spleen removed at 16. But that was something that kind of like
threw you off,
like messed me up, because it was almost like I went back to my my loner stage. It was almost like I felt like the end was coming for me, like I was about to die.
I feel that.
It was like I would go to school. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was depressed. I would go like a couple weeks before the surgery, like every day, I would go to the track and sit on the bleachers by myself.
What was going through your mind in those times?
I'm like, oh man, it's over with.
Emo milk?
I'm about to die.
Emo milk?
I'm about to die. It's over with. You know what I mean? I understand that. I'm thinking I'm having heart attacks. I'm in pain.
Oh, you had all those
my eyes yellow.
symptoms.
My eyes turned yellow. People was looking at me like the kids in the school. They knew I was hustling. I sold weed or whatever. So they would see my eyes yellow and shit. They be like, "Man, you high, huh? You high?" Not really knowing that, man, I'm fucked up. I'm sick. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling like it's about to be over with. When I get this surgery, I might not wake up. It might be, I'm finna be gone. So yeah, that at that age, like that's something that like fucked me up.
Who was Milk as a young adult? Who was Milk as a young man?
Man, I still feel like a young adult.
Yeah, I mean, you still are. Yeah, absolutely. But like, say 21. Where were you at 21?
At 21, I moved from St. Louis to Houston. That was the year 2006. I moved to Houston with my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife. We got married. We moved here February 2006. We got married November 2006. So I came down here basically just following her. I came down here confused, not knowing, because I'd never been to Houston before, so it was more like
a shock,
like
a culture shock.
I remember riding down the highway, and I seen these like colorful like a colorful hotel coming past like downtown, and I'm looking like, wow, like I'm really here. Like we was in the U-Haul. I'm like, what I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? Never been here before, but we already had an apartment set up, so we moved into the apartment and we started life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at 21, I was becoming a man, I guess. Leaving home, first time out, like on my own, going to a whole different city. People were scared for me. People would say they didn't think I would be there. Like, they were like, you coming back. You ain't going to last too long out there.
Yeah.
But I'm still here. 15 years, 16 years later?
Still in the H. H-Town, hold it down.
My experience was a little similar to yours, but before I moved out here, I'm from New Orleans, y'all. Before I moved out here,
you feel me?
I was
you heard me?
You heard me?
Yeah.
So before I moved out here, I was homeless in New Orleans. My brother who lives out here in Houston, he heard about me. He was like, bro, I don't want you out there homeless, bro. It's crazy out there and stuff. I was like, yeah, but I'm having fun, bro. I'm Bourbon Street every night, hanging out with my homies in the day. Bro, I was living, bro, for real. I was living it up. And he was like, bro, just come out here and get a job, bro, and you'll be all right. And you'll have a place to live. I don't care what you do. You could smoke, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could chill. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just pay some rent, bro. You good? I said, all right, man. I love my brother, so I always looked up to him. So I was like, man, he would come to New Orleans to hang out, and I would, like, bodyguard him through the city. Or, like, while he's on Bourbon, he in a suit, and I'm with my homies, looking like thugs. So he didn't get checked by people. I'm with him. You know what I'm saying? So I always showed him a good time. So he invited me out to Houston. He showed me a good time out here, and I loved it. So I knew, I'm gonna wanna move out here. I moved out here. It's lit. I love it. H-Town, baby, hold it down. And I think I moved out here at like 21 too. 21 or 22. I was like that age.
Scrooston, Texas.
Yeah.
I'm 21, man.
It's been like 8 years for me.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Home of the players and pimps.
Yeah.
You already know.
So that was me at 21.
It's so big too compared to where you moved from. You said St. Louis, right?
I don't know how big.
I don't know how big St. Louis is.
St. Louis is probably the same size as Southwest Houston.
Oh, okay.
The
population. Is that like that small?
Yeah, the population.
Well, most places are that small. Be like New Orleans is smaller than that.
Yeah, population probably is 300,000. 300,000.
Houston
people.
is the third biggest city in the United States.
Louis. I've been to St. Louis before, but then I don't know.
You went to the Arch?
I did. I went to the Arch. I rode the little trolley, ride, the ride in the arch, around the arch. Yeah, it was cool. Shout out
for the listeners and for y'all. You gotta get Chinaman, you gotta get Emo's Pizza, and you gotta get White Castles, and then you can hit the little barbecue spots. Anywhere you go, the barbecue gonna be good.
Well, that's the St. Louis little food experience. All right.
Yeah.
Got you. So now, who is Antonio? As we know as Milk the Barber, or as I know as Milk Money. Who is Milk in the present moment? What are your dreams going forward, and what goals are you working towards? I know right now you're cutting hair full time, which you shared with us last time how you started cutting hair at the age of 13. And for those of y'all who missed that last episode, he had explained how he was doing $5 cuts, collecting that
money.
He was hustling at a young age. Not only were you slanging, you were cutting hair.
Yeah.
And so that led you on to this journey to where you are now. So as being a barber and looking back as we've traveled on your journey, you've given us a little drive on the Magic School Bus.
Yeah.
Now in the present moment, as you're cutting hair.
Right now, in my life, right now at this moment, I'm just trying to get closer to God.
I feel that.
I feel that. Like
you feel the urge. You feel the pull.
In the past, I feel like I took God out of my life, even though I know He was with me, like present with me.
Yes.
I lost my relationship with Him. I didn't pray. I didn't wake up with Him on my mind.
Been there, done that.
I didn't I wasn't going to church to like fellowship. You know what I'm saying? I kind of felt. I ain't gonna say I felt like He wasn't with me, but when you not connecting with Him every day, you kind of lose that connection. So I'm right now. I'm in a mode where I'm plugging back in. I'm powering up. Just connecting with God more. First of all, that I wasn't connected with God, and my relationship wasn't connected with God, because we started off. That's the kind of like the reason we got married. Because God told us like you don't need to like shack up and shit. You know what I'm saying? The preacher, we was at church, and the preacher was like, don't act like you know what I'm saying, you doing everything as a married couple, and you having sex, you living together, you paying bills, you acting like you married. You might as well do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't shack up. Do it the right way. So with us loving each other, you're like, okay, we need to do it the right way. But some type of way we lost having God at the head. You know what I'm saying?
In the center.
Yeah. So just going through what I'm going through in my relationship, I was like, I felt the need to just plug back in, just on myself, just making myself better, making myself whole, because I need to get myself right before I can make somebody else happy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I gotta be fulfilled within. I gotta be connected with God, connected spiritually.
Mentally and emotionally heal
my emotions, heal my mental, so that I can be a better husband, a better friend, a better father, better businessman, because God is the head of everything. You know what I mean?
That's so beautiful.
You know what I mean?
And thank you for your vulnerability in that. Those are a lot of tough points to talk about, but that's your truth, and I honor that, and I'm so thankful to be here, and you trusting and you letting us receive that. Also with you, Wardy, a lot of the heavy things that you've shared, and which is exactly why I brought you, for being the change you wish to see, because there were a lot of times where you could have taken some different routes after being, jailbird, being praised for being locked up, right? You could have chose that path to continue living to that. But you living up to that.
Right.
But it's beautiful that you had some you listed some beautiful people who have inspired you, and who truly who you wanted to make proud as well.
Right.
And people who provided that structure and that love to you. And your father for the work ethic to keep you pushing, to keep you, hold you accountable. For your mother being by your side and loving you. I can honestly say, just for meeting you and the time that I've spent with you, is that you are such a bold and courageous soul.
I appreciate it.
And I definitely feel your presence is felt. You also, Wardy, could have made some other decisions.
definitely. I feel like a lot of times there's so many points in your life when now in retrospection, right, looking back, you look back and you're like, wow, I can't believe that was me. I wouldn't have liked me.
Right.
Now, the me now wouldn't have liked me then.
Yeah.
You know, or the me now can't believe how far I've come from then. You know,
Right.
and I definitely like meeting you. Milk was very cool, very awesome. I just needed a haircut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you already know, meeting you first of all, y'all should go get a haircut from the fade doctor. Did some surgery. He lined me up real good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
But yeah, meeting you, your energy, you know, your positivity, you know, you're very chill. Just like you said, like you said, how the old folks. I was like that too when I was younger. I'm a little bit more outspoken than I was as a child. As a child, I was more quiet, and I used to hang out with the old folks too. Yeah. But now I'm more talky. But you give me that laid back old school. I feel like I'm in the country chilling on the porch. Boy. You know what I'm saying? My grandma was a gardener too. You know what I'm saying? My people had farms. We chilled.
And I feel like I'm cruising in Milk's Cutlass.
Hell yeah!
I need to pull that thing out. Man.
Listening to that jam. What was that jam you sent me?
That Voyage to Atlantis.
In the Cutlass.
We're gonna have to get a ride in that one.
You already know. The folks who are listening on Spotify already caught that vibe in the beginning. That intro. That was Milk's. This is Milk's episode, so we wanted to honor him with his tracks. But the point that I was wanting to make earlier is that how we all collectively had seen different things in each other's in our own worlds that were so big that rocked us, and that people who have inspired us and having that structure, and as Milk was leading us in the journey of his life, and you had explained those things to me about you writing and everything, and then your yearn and call for God to become closer. One thing I wanted to say was with your writing, how that's something that like Wardy, for him going to school in art and doing what he wants to do is going to make him feel fulfilled. You had mentioned that you had started writing a book. You told me that. And so this is me as a friend, as a homie, also giving you back that same love to push you to also pursue, to finish, to do it. This is don't talk about it, be about it. Definitely. Type thing.
And I'm gonna try to help motivate you towards that too. If you need help with that, let me know.
Right now I can honestly say I am fulfilling my purpose as we speak. I am living my dream right now.
Talk that talk.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, third eye therapy. And this is something that why I am able to connect with you beautiful souls, both of y'all, on such a intimate and deep level. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. This is for every listener as well. This is something that drives me, and this is something that I want. Just as I was seen and pushed, all I needed was someone to believe in me and tell me. But more than anything, it had to be me to believe in myself and to overcome and conquer some of those big things that we have that happen in our life, that we're able to make those decisions to change, to sway this way, to go, that you're like, I'm not going to take this route because I know in my heart, the purest of intentions that I have of what I want to do. Mine was always to help people and love people, and a lot of times that left me, high and dry. That left me in some bad places and felt kicked down. You know what I'm saying? And I let you guys share a lot of those things, and those are things, for me that I still process and I still work on. But at the same time, that does not stop me from living my dream and being my best self. Listen, this has been a great session with each other. Milk, I cannot wait to come and chop it up with you and your fellowship, your ministry, your the men who come and gather together to support one another. I can't wait to be a part of that.
All right.
And
I can't wait either.
Third Eye Therapy's coming. I'm coming.
One
love. I'm going to, one love, I'm coming. We're going to show that next video is going to drop on our YouTube. We're going to also share it on Facebook. It's also going to be shared on Instagram. And you're going to check us checking out Milk in his shop and what he does in his ministry. Milk, Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here.
appreciate y'all. Third eye.
You heard me.
Feel me? Not really though. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
One love. We out.
One love.
All right, y'all. Shout out to Milk the Barber and Wardy for being open with such depth into their lives and sharing with such vulnerability. This is part 1 of Be the Change You Wish to See. It will be continued as I head over to Milk's barbershop as he invited me to be the first and only female to meet with his clients, a part of his mental health program. I can't wait to chop it up with those guys and share with y'all my one-on-one experience, where I'll share the whole experience on our very first YouTube video. So be looking out for that video called Be the Change You Wish to See Part 2. And as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace, love, blessings, and one love.